My Road Trip with Dad, written by Andrew M.A. Spear. Fade in. Interior nursing home common area, day. Early morning. Not much activity as most residents are still asleep. One old man sits still in his wheelchair staring at a flat screen mounted on the wall. The TV is off. Two old women sit in comfortable chairs side by side. They don't speak or acknowledge one another. An attendant passes them and says nothing. Interior nursing home kitchen, day. Two women wearing hairnets prepare breakfast. One cracks eggs and stirs them in a pot. The other is making toast. Interior nursing home bedroom, day. A small, sterile room vacant of any personal items except for a framed picture of a beautiful woman on the nightstand. Cyril, 75, wearing pajamas, sits on the edge of his small bed. He stares straight ahead at nothing. His face reflects no emotion. A blank canvas. He turns his head to gaze at the picture. Finally, the stillness in his face is broken. A smile. But it's brief. He remembers where he is. Interior nursing home common area, day. 5 residents sit around a large table having breakfast. 2 sit in wheelchairs. One has an attendant sitting next to them, feeding them. One just stares into her plate. Cyril takes a seat at the table. Quickly, Luciana, 25, a pretty and perky Latina attendant, brings him his breakfast.
Good morning, Mr. Edgars.
I keep telling you, Luciana, it's Edgar, not Edgars. There's no S on the end. There's not 2 of us, just me.
Luciana nods.
Sorry, Mr. Edgars.
Cyril turns his attention to his scrambled eggs. He shakes his head in frustration and reluctantly samples the food.
Jesus Christ.
The outburst gets the attention of the attendants and a couple of residents.
Something wrong, Mr. Edgars?
Goddamn right there's something wrong. These fucking eggs are terrible, as usual.
Can I get you some others, Mr. Edgars?
Cyril swipes the plate away and it smashes on the floor. Luciana pulls back in fear.
It's Edgar. Edgar, not fucking Edgars. I'm tired of eating nuked eggs.
A burly male attendant enters the room.
Can I help you, Mr. Edgar?
Cyril gets up and passes by the male attendant.
Not unless you can scramble eggs.
Cyril walks down the hallway. The male attendant follows. Interior nursing home kitchen, day. Cyril abruptly bursts in and pushes by a woman to get to the fridge.
Excuse me, but you're not supposed to be in here.
Well, I don't think you're supposed to be feeding us crap either. So I guess we're even.
Cyril opens the fridge and removes a carton of eggs.
What are you doing?
Cyril ignores her and walks to the counter. The male attendant walks next to Cyril.
Mr. Edgar, you're not allowed in the kitchen.
Cyril looks up at him and smiles. He cracks open an egg and puts it in a bowl.
You have to put the eggs down, Mr. Edgar. You have to leave the kitchen.
Once more, Cyril only smiles and cracks open another egg. The male attendant grabs hold of Cyril's arm and pulls him away.
Take your hands off me.
Cyril punches the male attendant, causing him to stagger backwards. But after composing himself, he again grabs Cyril. Cyril grabs hold of the male attendant, and they both end up on the floor wrestling. Cyril screams and clutches his chest. His face tightens in pain. The male attendant gets off him.
Call 911.
Exterior, city street, day. Andy, 33, pedals his expensive bicycle along the street lined with parked cars. He's outfitted in biker's gear as if he were doing the Tour de France. He glides through a very posh area of the city, a row of clean, brick, semi-detached townhouses. Exterior, Andy's townhouse, day. Andy gets off his bike and carries it up the steps to his home, a brightly painted historical building with 2 large, colorful plants in concrete basins standing sentinel by the front door. Interior, Andy's townhouse foyer, day. Andy comes in the front door and hangs up his bike. Interior, Andy's townhouse kitchen, day. Everything is white. The cupboards, the island, the chairs, even the appliances on the white counters. Close on cupboard. A large container of protein powder is taken down. Close on blender. The blender turns on and starts mixing a drink. Andy pours himself his drink from the blender, sits at the island, and starts looking through a newspaper. Beside him, his laptop starts to chime. Andy opens the lid and the screen comes to life with a message. Your sister is calling. Andy touches the mouse pad and his sister Liz, 44, appears on the screen.
Hey sis, what's up?
It's Dad.
Andy shows little interest in the conversation as he continues to sip his drink and read his newspaper.
Yeah. What about him?
He had a heart attack.
Andy lowers the paper.
It isn't serious, but there was an incident at the nursing home. Apparently he struck an attendant. There was a scuffle. Bottom line is, he can't stay there. They've expelled him.
What's that make? 3 homes?
Right now, he's in the hospital, but obviously he can't stay there. I've talked with Carrie about this, and he's okay with Dad coming to live with us.
Yeah, my condolences.
But I'll need you to bring him out here.
Andy puts down the newspaper.
What?
Andy!
No way.
I'd do it myself.
Then do it yourself.
Like I was going to say, I'd do it myself, but Carrie's got a business trip and I can't cart the kids back and forth across the country. Look, I'll pay both airfares.
It's not about the money. In fact, I'll even pay the airfare and someone to fly with him, like a caregiver or something.
What?
I'll put an ad on Kijiji, looking for sucker to accompany nasty old fart on flight to San Diego. All expenses paid.
Andy, he's your father.
Don't give me that bloodline bullshit. I haven't seen or heard from him in 5 or 6 years since...
I know, since Mom's funeral. That was hard on all of us.
Yeah, what's his excuse for the previous 20 plus years?
Can't you put your differences aside for a couple of hours?
A couple of hours? That's like a 7-hour flight. Not to mention the time picking him up, waiting in the airport, then...
Okay. Make me do everything. I was the one that kept searching for homes that would take him. It was me that made the effort to get him settled. Now it's not enough that I'm letting him live with me, but I also have to pack up my 4 and 5-year-olds and haul them back and forth 6,000 miles. I just thought you could help me out. Just once. But no, you go ahead with your isolated little life.
All right. I'll do it.
Liz just stares back at Andy, unsure of his commitment.
I said I'd do it. So I'll do it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll email you the details.
Right.
Love you, brother.
I love you too.
The window closes on Andy's laptop and his sister is gone. He slams the lid shut.
Shit!
Exterior hospital, day. Interior hospital nurses station, day. Andy walks up to the desk.
I'm looking for Cyril Edgar.
Interior hospital corridor, day. As Andy walks down the corridor, he hears laughter and a booming voice he knows all too well. Interior hospital Cyril's room, day. Cyril sits propped up in a bed. Despite being plugged into machines and an IV, he smiles and jokes with Dr. McCrae, late 30s, and an attractive nurse, 20s, as if he's doing a stand-up routine.
So all I can say to the guy is, okay, you caught me with my pants down.
The doctor and nurse laugh at the punchline. Andy walks partially into the room and leans against the doorframe. Cyril notices Andy, and his smile is quickly gone.
Well, look what the cat dragged in.
The doctor and nurse turn to look at Andy.
You are coming in, aren't you?
Andy enters without saying anything.
You'll have to forgive my son, Andrew. He was never very sociable.
Andy feigns a smile.
That's right. My father did the socializing for the entire family.
The doctor and nurse laugh.
It looks like he got your sense of humor.
Well, if he did, that's all he got.
The doctor walks up to Andy and shakes his hand.
Dr. John McCrae, I've spoken with your sister. Nice to meet you, Andy.
Jesus, Doc, don't call him Andy. That's a sissy name. It's Andrew. I wanted him to have a strong name. Andrew Morgan McLean Edgar.
My mistake. Andrew.
So, doctor, what's the time frame for releasing the patient? I still have to book a flight.
I'm sorry, did you say flight?
Yeah, I'm taking him to my sister's. She lives in San Diego.
There seems to be some confusion.
In what way?
Your father can't fly.
What?
No, I wouldn't even consider allowing your father to fly for at least 10 days. At his age, he'd be at risk of developing a blood clot because he'd be sitting still in a confined space for a long period of time, which can affect blood circulation. Maybe in 4 weeks.
4 weeks?
Maybe 8 weeks.
But I have to get him to San Diego.
We'll drive.
What?
We'll drive.
I don't have a car.
What do you mean you don't have a car?
I mean, I don't have a car.
How the hell do you get around?
I have a bike.
Like a Harley?
No, not a Harley. Think pedals.
With 2 or 3 wheels?
Very funny.
Do you at least have a driver's license?
Of course I have a driver's license.
So we rent a car.
Sounds like a road trip to me.
Yeah, a road trip. Take our time. Stop and see the sights. Make it an adventure.
Now that sounds fun.
Yeah, loads of fun.